Greetings and salutations to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, near and wide. I'm coming on here to address some situations in my search for this book that my father had told me to search for. Coming out of the book of Habakkuk. What I can't seem to find is there's no place on this world that on this earth where the poison of Esau has not contaminated, or his poison appears. For some reason I don't know, I don't through the spirit, I don't, that's why. Because I don't read introductions to Bibles. Because I don't need man's perception, especially dead men's perception of my father's words. I rely on his spirit. But because I'm researching this book, I just happened to look over at the introduction of this one, of the book of Habakkuk, and I felt the need I had to address this. Lies, liars, and tricks. Now, I think it's kind of amazing that all our life we've been told either King James is black or King James is white, but that's not even important right now. I'm going to go ahead and read the introduction. Now, if you haven't read the book of Habakkuk, you wouldn't be able to catch it. We're only provided 3 books. So, from the 3 books, you can still grasp what the prophets was really saying. Habakkuk may have witnessed, it said may have. Right there is already doubt. The only people that doubts the prophets are the other nations. Just like when we were watching the documentary of Nat Turner, and they're saying he may have been a influencer outlet, that they can never be honest and tell the truth about anything concerning our people. It's just so dang, like they're liars. Their lies exhaust. They exhaust me. Not to give up, but they don't exhaust me. Let me correct my saying. Their lies frustrate me. It frustrates me. Saying Habakkuk may have witnessed the decline and fall of the Assyrian Empire and the rise of the Babylonian kingdom. Trying to talk about past tense. You know what's amazing? Is that a lot of the prophets actually prophesied about now than actually then. Even Daniel seen the siege of our people when they were coming out. Even Daniel saw these times. Even Yasha, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, spoke more about our time than that time. Talking about Babylonian kingdom near the end of the 17th century BC. The meaning of his name is uncertain and its usage is uncommon. This book takes the form of a dialogue between the Mosai and the prophet. Habakkuk observes that the leaders in Judah are oppressing the poor. How can the leaders of Judah be oppressing the poor? Did ever the leaders of Judah go up and not stay in their own homeland? Did ever the leaders of Judah cause all the nations to come unto them, as mentioned in Habakkuk 2? This why when I see the precepts in the middle, sometimes I'll be like, what? Okay. Never mind. If you can see here, I have notes all in here. It's quite clear he's talking about America and colonizers. What's the one people who was told to stay in Mount Seir and they went everywhere but there? There's no prophecies about the Most High speaking to Judah about extending their boundaries and their borders. So I can already tell from the introduction, Esau, dang on, like this is disgusting, man. This is disgusting. We got to get you off the face of this earth. Where did we in time past, even in our rulership, took your history books and contaminate your history? Where did we do that at? We've never done that to y'all, but y'all done it to us though. Look how subtle y'all are. Look how the Father just keeps showing y'all to be the serpent that y'all are. You are the serpent seed. You are the daggone devil the Bible speaks of. Adversaries. Talking about, it says, Habakkuk observes that the leaders in Judah are oppressing the poor, and so he raises the question to why the Most High allows these wicked people to prosper. When Ahai assures him that the Chaldeans will come to punish Judah, he becomes more and more concerned. How can justice prevail when the wicked Chaldeans, who are actually worse than the wicked Jews, he's saying, are allowed by the Most High to bring judgment upon the Most High's chosen people? The Most High's reply is that the just shall live by faith in the Most High, faith in the Most High, and have the confidence. Unknown caller. All praise to the Most High in the name of Yeshua. Thank you. And have the confidence that Ahai is doing what is right. Habakkuk is then assured that the Chaldeans will in due time be judged and that ultimately righteousness and justice will prevail for the people of the Most High. In the Psalm of Praise, Habakkuk resolves his problems. You know this? We know that through the scriptures, the Most High always warns his people and corrects his people. Right? Hence, we are here today. But it was not wicked. It's not our leaders who went beyond their borders, as the whole chapter 2 is talking about. You come over here, verse chapter 2. I just read this yesterday. I'm going to go through this again. This is disgusting. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I will answer when I am approved. And Ahai answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. So he told him to write it down. For some odd reason, what's interesting is when I looked for the Most High's book that he told me to look for, and the verse he told me to look for, it brought me to this one thing called Berean Call. And the time on there said 1711. That's something the Spirit said. Look up what's the time for 1711. What time is 1711? The 5th hour. When I got there, he told me he was going to speak within the 5th hour. It was approximately 5:11 when he actually spoke to me. I find it quite amazing that these devils want us to believe that these are all the books that we had from out of this prophet here. The Most High told them to write the vision down. We ain't got all the vision, but they can give us a synopsis or an introduction and a conclusion and outline on what the prophet was talking about. Mind you, he has not dealt with any other nation. Okay, so how in the world y'all going to be able to provide us the introduction, outline, and everything else on what the Most High was telling this prophet? Y'all think y'all slick, and y'all are not slick. Mind you, it says 1711, right? For some reason, when I was looking up the book of Habakkuk, chapter 5, verse 5, I came upon, no, I didn't even say chapter 5. I didn't even say verse 5. I just said chapter 5. And talking about Zulu time, the first time I got was 5:11. When I was there, we arrived approximately at 3:50 something at the location. I would say he would speak within the 5th hour. A whole hour went by. We was just there worshiping, praising, and doing, whatever we had to do. I'm going to read the rest of chapter 2 and prove and show you just within this, he's not talking to Judah. He's talking to you Edomites. You Edomites try to be slick. You Edomites are liars. You can't even tell the truth to save your life. This is disgusting. We said, Write the vision and make it plain. He didn't say draw nothing. He said write the vision. Just like he told John the Revelator, write the vision. We was never about no drawing stuff. And make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Oh, this word gonna make you want to run when you read it. This word, this vision, the most I had him writing down was not no piece of crap type. They want to call him a minor prophet. I don't understand where that comes from. That's another like made up term they done did. Another byword. I guess he's minor because they want you to think he had a small book. Did they tell you they're minor and gave you the books they want you to have and tell you they're minor? Man, get out of here with that. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So they try to tell you in the introduction, oh, he may have seen something of the past. No, chapter 2 already rebukes that. But at the end it shall speak. At the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. I assure you, Habakkuk was asking when the Most High was going to deal with the heathens. Yes, he did see, okay, yes, wickedness, and no man was keeping the laws. We see that wicked judgment go forth. But why was the wickedness going on? Because of the nations around his people set this kind of wickedness up. We weren't inventors of wickedness. Behold, his soul, watch, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. Whose soul is not upright in them? Now, mind you, even Habakkuk, the prophet's talking about uprightness. Even Habakkuk is rebuking somebody for not being upright. Not for being a prince of who have favor with man, favor with Most High. He said, behold, his soul is not upright. His soul is not upright in him. Identification. But the just shall live by faith. So the just are justified by their works according to being upright, according to his word. What people are not upright according to the Most High's word? Certainly Edomites. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is proud, a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. As hell. His desire as hell. What people you know that like to ride around with skull and bones on their cars? What people you know celebrate death? What people you know just love to eat raw? What people you can just look and be like, who says holy S-H-I-T? Like what people do that kind of stuff? They're not upright in their soul. Their soul cannot even convict them. Don't say that. Don't do that. That's wrong. Habakkuk was talking about y'all. Stop. Didn't keep at home. You know what he was saying? Your dwelling places was Mount Seir, the clefts of the rocks. That's where you were supposed to be at. Not over here enlarging every territory as hell. What made it mean as hell? Which means by you enlarging it, you're taking from other people. That's hell for other people. We're in hell right now because we're in a strange land because y'all stole us from where we were supposed to be, brought us to this place and brought us in a place we were not supposed to be in, brought us to straight torment. It's your rulership. This is why we're angry. Somebody had the nerve to go on my old video and ask me, why am I upset? Why am I mad? What do you mean, why am I mad? Should I be rejoicing in captivity? Should I be, well, yeah, I'm rejoicing in salvation, but should I be rejoicing to see my people continually going away from the way? What should I celebrate? What is there to celebrate? Just because I got victory, I'm not satisfied with me having victory. I'd be happy if all my brothers and sisters got victory. The reason why it doesn't make sense to y'all, and we should still be like how Christian church does, because they're in their heaven. They're in their paradise. And they're still being demons. Son, my heart is just, son. This is why he said in chapter 1, the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. Oh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not say. Why do it? You know what's crazy? They read that one verse. And their whole mindset was, oh, he ain't answering the prophet. Read further. Or can you read? Why doest thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded. He's basically saying the wicked are going about the righteous. Who is righteous? It shall be counted our righteousness if we keep these commandments. What people are supposed to be keeping the commandments? His people. What would be the wicked ones surpassing his people, trying to keep the commandments and vexing them and disturbing them? The enemies. And not to let us go off past easy. Yes, even the wicked within our nation. Hence, we still have wicked in our nation today. Behold ye among the heathen. Behold you among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe. Behold his children among the heathen. Take heed. Look and marvel at these demons around you. Now I'm going to send a work. I'm going to do a work. And you're not going to believe. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Underneath me. She always comes underneath me when I'm teaching. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land and to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. Boom. So who is the rebuke for the people who's not in their land? Who was the Chaldeans? Man, stop playing like. Oh. Do you know, even in this time, he showed me Isaiah 52 and said, look, behold, I put a cry in the ships of the Chaldeans for your sake. So the same people that he used against us, the same people he's going to break in the end. Isaiah 52 show you that. Who was crying in the ships in the beginning of COVID-19, in the cruise ships about COVID-19? That was the first place of quarantine, was in the ships. The little cruise ships they was having. And you know what I said? Well, who else was crying in the ships? Oh, we were crying in the ships now, weren't we? Now, who was crying in the ships then? They was. Even Yasha said, behold, I come not to bring peace but a sword. So explain to me why I need to be over here giggly and bubbly and cracking up and laughing like something's funny. When I turn on TV and I still see my people in sin and in oppression. There's nothing funny. I rejoice and praise him because I know down the road, but we're going to get the victory. But through it all and all, my heart is heavy. Let me explain that. Who are the Chaldeans today? Hold on. Who are the Chaldeans? Chaldeans are Eastern, right? Catholic. Okay. And, let me explain something to y'all. This is another thing Esau has done so craftily. They want us to believe that if you're in this location, you're identified by your location. But mind you, we're over here and they're calling us by this location and that location. But are Israeli people called by the location they came from? Like this here is a Caucasian face. Hold on. A Caucasian face. And the Arabians you see today, they're majority Caucasian. They're majority Esau. Okay. The ancient Ishmaelites were definitely what you would say, dark. Exactly, bro. Exactly, man. I'm certainly crying aloud and sparing not. Though I can't really, I'm still in the process of getting my hands on the rest of the book of Habakkuk, the prophet Habakkuk. What I do, what the Most High does show me, is bringing pieces all together. Just with a little bit I got. We can make things out a little bit. We're good with a little bit. Give us something, and the Most High know we're going to make something out of that. Oh, yeah. My whole life has been that. And I found it quite amazing when he told me I'll speak in the 5th hour when we got there. But when I'm looking up this book, chapter 5, now mind you, you look up the book of the Habakkuk, pardon me, Habakkuk, chapter 5 on your Google, you'll see 2 options. Like one says burying call and another one. But on the small side of it, let me show you. Man, this stuff is getting, I could throw up. Like I just throw up, cry, scream, and yell. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of our stuff being taken of us. I'm tired of lies and wickedness. And due to these lies, it causes our people to fall. I'm sick of it. Chapter 5, Habakkuk. They got the luxury to dab and spy on us. They got the luxury to dibble and be nosy. They got all the luxury to be all up in our business when our business ain't even complete. It ain't much to snoop in. Just like I was sitting there at the scene where Harriet Tubman, Most High began to speak to her. As I was there on my knees in the grass, they're staring at me. I can feel their eyes on me. Notice the Most High told me when they came, Habakkuk 1:5, he said, read this one aloud. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days. You want to look? Marvel all you want to. Stare all you want to. I wouldn't be surprised if they put a strange woman at the scene of Harriet Tubman things on YouTube or something. I wouldn't be surprised. I really don't care. Lying on our prophets, bearing false witness. I'm sick of it. Verse 6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the joint places that are not theirs. Did it say to possess Judah? Did it say to possess the people? Where did they get that from? They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Boom. It says the wicked compass the righteous. Therefore, wicked judgment goeth forth. It said the righteous. It said the righteous. Whom is a people that's righteous on this earth? None of these nations without the law. Who did he give his law to? He gave his showed this word to Jacob. His statutes unto the upright. He hath not dealt so with any other nation. So y'all lied. You're lying in the scriptures. You Christians, you theologians, you dogs, you sorcerers. I will rebuke and expose you with the little bit I got through the power and spirit of my Father. Again, if you come over here to chapter 2, verse 5, starting at verse 4, actually. Behold, his soul which is lifted up, talking about that hasty and what you call it people. All right. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is proud, a proud man, neither keepeth that home. Sound like somebody I know, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. I wrote here colonizers. Colonizers. What person colonized the earth? Okay. Yeah, we might see some Arabian people over here. They're not heaping the nations unto themselves. Esau's the one that's in rulership right now. AKA the white man. There's an American embassy in almost everybody's landmass. You just couldn't stay in the doggone clefts of the rocks. Not only that, when you came out, you would nothing but destruction follow. Destruction went before you. Back to chapter 1. Verse 7 says, they are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. What people make their judgment of themselves? formed a God unto themselves, and their law is of themselves. The white man, aka Edomites. Y'all the only ones that came up with a wild image. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, we got, the Indians got their little God, but they ain't forcing a God all over every the world. Everybody had to receive Jesus Christ. They are terrible and dreadful, and their judgment and their dignity proceed of themselves. Or from them shall proceed the judgment. See, then they go put or. It's not no ors. It is what the Father says it is. You can't take his word and make it be something that you want to fit you. This is what y'all have done. It got so bad for y'all. It got so hot in the prophets. Y'all say, you know what? Man, forget that. We're going to just make these little Bibles called the Gideon Bibles where you just start with the book of John. But John would have burnt you up too and called you a whole white viper, though. A whole white viper. Family, take a deep breath. We're living amongst the times of the dragon. He was a serpent in the garden, a viper in the times of Yahshua on the earth. He's a dragon in our time. You understand how bad it is out here? You understand why it's so crazy out here? Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and they're more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. We know all those nations use the eagle as their symbol. But America, my. You really think you're that eagle? Like, you really think that you can fly above all the nations and their rule shit? Like, you, not only like America, somebody's up against us, but they done got haughty against the other nations and other ones before them. We will rebuild. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind. And is there anywhere in here you see the Most High saying, and I am going to prove? Notice he said, I will raise up the Chaldeans that bitter. When he said raise them up, it's for an appointed. Notice, just like he raised Pharaoh up. Was he with Pharaoh? Did he agree with Pharaoh when he hardened Pharaoh's heart? What did he raise him up for? To knock him right back down. So don't smell yourself, heathens. America, what are you proud of? Rape, robbery, and murder? Is that what you're really? Is that what made America great? Because that's all your history entails. That's all I learned in school. I ain't really learned. That's all I was told. I haven't begun to learn since the law had begun to convert me. That's the only time I began to learn anything. Because before that, and still to this day, I am dumb. I am a dumb lamb. I know nothing. Absolutely nothing. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup. What did they come to the Native Americans for? A supper? A feast? Really? No, that was a celebration, the taunting. That was the daggone in the Europeans man's and the Spaniard man's eating up the food and feasting unto the death of our ancestors, our brothers and sisters. That's what that was. What you think the turkey represent? And the stuffing coming out the turkey, and the daggone cranberry representing the blood. They shall come from verse 10, and they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be scorn unto them. They shall derade every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing his power unto his God, unto his deity. Art thou not from everlasting, O Most High, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Ahiah, that has ordained them for judgment, and O mighty Ahiah, that has established them for correction. So the most I always like, like I said, parents say, I'm gonna go get that belt. You hope that your kid will line up before you really gotta like beat them. So the Most High, I'm gonna raise them up so that people go, oh my gosh, let's repent, let's repent. That was the real reason why the Most High said he was gonna raise them up. He didn't really want them to. Where is the Most High's glory in the Chaldeans? There's none. Hence, he simply said he will impute this unto his God. Where was the glory in the Most High's people being afflicted in Egypt? Where is the Father's glory in us being afflicted here in this land of America? There's no glory for him. He don't find no glory in the grave. With whole offerings and with whole offerings. He wants wholeness. Then shall we offer up sacrifices of praise, rams upon your altar for celebration of him. He'd rather be magnified and exalted for his goodness, because he's good. He's awesome. He's magnificent. He's great. Not because somebody done transgressed him. Thou art of pure eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devour the man that is more righteous than he? So where did anybody get where Judah was doing anything wrong here? I don't see Judah doing anything wrong here. He said, we're more righteous than him, and you allow this to go on. Father, what's going on? This is what Habakkuk was crying about. Father. Let me show y'all something. See that? In that little red, hold on, let me put my resolution down. In that little red box, the time actually says 17:11. So I looked up 17:11, it said the 5th hour. That's when he spoke to me. Habakkuk 5:5. Habakkuk 5:5. Habakkuk 5:5. And I asked for my family to bring me the Bible. And I'm looking, I'm like, but Father, there's no 5:5. As in riding home in today, look up worldlibrary.com. I go to worldlibrary.com. I typed in the book of Habakkuk chapter 5, and I get all this Arabian stuff. But they want to tell us the Chaldeans. Okay, so whichever people have conquered our people, they're also responsible for our books being stolen too. Because think about it. Why would we hide prophecies against them? They're the only ones that would want to hide prophecies against their own selves. We're not going to hide them. We didn't have the power to. They're the ones that hid them. They're the thieves and robbers and the ones that they put into this word and took away from his word. So just rest assured, you Chaldee, all you nations of the earth, for your wicked treachery deeds. My Father's raising people up to deal with y'all. Oh, yeah. You're going to be dealt with. And right now, as we speak, I declare a curse upon the house of Chaldeans for your wicked treachery, thievery actions against my Father's home and his word, his house, and bearing false witness in the scriptures. That can't go undealt with. Every tongue that risen up against us, we shall condemn you. We shall condemn you. And that is our heritage. You need the scripture for that? No weapon. You tried to form weapons by taking things. So that was a weapon against us. See, ignorance, he said his people are destroyed by. So taking our books makes us become destroyed. That is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Most High, is of him. So with understanding Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5, when he said, behold ye among the heathen, okay, let's go back up some. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceed. Okay? Your days which ye shall not believe, though it be told you. How many people to this day still don't believe the prophets? Yet they tell you all through here what time it is. The introduction said Habakkuk may have witnessed. Don't somebody saying if you may have sound like the serpent. You won't surely die. Your eyes may be opened. He may not have seen it. And he don't know what he's talking about. You devils. Back to chapter 2, verse 3. The Most High says to him, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Appointed time does not mean something he saw the past kingdoms. Talking about 17th century. He's being provided a prophecy to write down for an appointed time. That means yet to come. That's what prophets do. He said, I will do nothing lest I reveal to my prophets the servants. Why would somebody need to prophesy something that happened beforehand? Lest they can give you revelation that was in the past that was not provided. But that's not what Habakkuk's doing here. Habakkuk here is writing a vision for an appointed time. He said, though it tarry, which means it hadn't happened yet, wait for it. It will come to pass. What are they talking about, 17th century? What are they talking about? Nice try. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Ooh. So if you're not upright, your soul's not upright, that means you're not living by faith. Do you know not living by faith will make you not upright? But why? Because he lives according to his wine. He lives according to everything he sees. He's pompous. He's lifted up. He's exalted in himself. Oh, I got this money. I'm good. I'm balling. I got all this cattle. I got all these nations worshiping me, bowing down to me. That's not upright. And transgresses the Most High's law by wine, which Solomon's mother warned him of. Stay away from that. You know, if you're sorrowful in heart, okay. And I'll tell you this too. If you fast a lot, bitter wines are good for you, or vinegar. Okay, but add a little bit of vinegar to your water. But don't be drinking for the sake of drunkenness. And at this point, we in war. I wouldn't even recommend it. Nobody got time to be slightly off by a second. We need to be vigilant, alert. For our adversary, the devil, roaming around seeking whom he can devour. So stay vigilant, brothers and sisters. Stay alert. So, verse 5, ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is proud man, neither keepeth that home. Let's skip down back to where I was at, verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him that ladeth himself with the thick clay? Taking things that's not his. The Most High said he was going to lay Esau's heritage waste for the dragons, right? But whose heritage did he take upon? By putting his face on the Bible, but making his face be the face of the persons of the Bible. We know the other nations got their own gods, which they got their own gods, but they ain't put their faces in this Bible, though. They ain't trying to make themselves be John and Yeshaya and the prophets and all that jazz. It was you white men that did that. It was you Edomites that did that. Shalom, my beloved sister Nord B. How you been? That's right, sis. You know how we do. As we ought to. For our Father, leaving nothing on the court. Because Father said, there ain't nothing that's hid that shall not be recovered. And he said, what I tell you in secret, he said, screaming on the housetop. Mind you, he said, verse 7 of Habakkuk chapter 2. They shall not rise up suddenly. They shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee. And awake that shall vex thee. And thou shalt be for booties unto them. We shall be for booties unto them? Because that's a question here. Because thou hast spoiled many nations All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. What people kill for the land they possess? What people bomb people for the land they possess? What people rape and rob for the land they possess? Even when the Arabians come over here or whatever, they still got to be under Esau's stimulations. They still got to abide by Esau's regulations. Exactly, sis. Only one type. Anybody want to raise your hand? Edomites. That's who. Is this the man that caused the nations to tremble? That old serpent, the devil, dragon, subtile than any beast of the field, slick and sneaky than anybody. Ain't nobody outwitting Esau and his wickedness. I'm telling you today. You'll think everything's good and dandy. Next thing you know, he'll undermine you. That's how he works. It's his nature. He can't even go to sleep without undermining somebody. He can't stand peace and solitude and wholesomeness. He just can't stand it. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, which means oh my gosh, like think about that. His covetousness is not, dang, I want that. Let me do the right thing. I got to do and learn from him. Let me be like that. But no, I got to come up with an evil way to obtain that. You won't get out the land quick enough? I'll bomb you out. Oh, you keep on being numbered in children? I'm going to set up gentrification and I'm going to vaccinate you and all these kind of things. Like, that's just evil, man. That's disgusting, man. He letting them hang. Exactly, beloved sis. Exactly. Guess what's crazy, yo? My sister out of nowhere. She is a Muslim, though. It's crazy. She texted me today and said, how you been, sis? You know, I know because her head is what it is, but she still be like learning with me, right? She said, sis, I be telling my man about you. She said, he listened to Farrakhan. She said, I tell him about what you be telling me. And I think he about to consider like coming to the truth, beloved. I couldn't make it down there today, but the Most High showed me, look, your name's still making waves out there. People still talking out there. And I got my other sister, Kwana. She telling people about this truth. According to what I be like telling her. She trying to be a little light too. I feel her in the spirit. Most High let me know. She trying the best she can. She told me, sis, never give up on us. Please, sis, never leave us, please. I said, I never leave y'all. I never forget about y'all. I pray for all my sisters and brothers. So to higher be the glory, yo. I couldn't make it, but the work's still going for it. So be it unto the Most High. Verse 10, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people. Many people he cut off. And has sinned against thy soul. His sin, Esau's sin is against his soul. Whoa, you don't want to sin against your soul. That's the worst thing. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. The iniquity was the transgression of the Most High's laws, which was set in the land. Everything we see was formed by, y'all remember this. Everything you see was formed by the Most High's word. Everything. And that what you see that was not formed by him was not anything made. So in other words, everything must obey the Most High's laws. What boisterous demon cannot comply by the Most High's law? The devil. That's who. You think about that. It is, even as I'm watching the Harriet Tubman movie, I'm looking at where ways they, like in Christianity, pay the tithe and offering. You look at ways they took the law when it says, Deuteronomy 15. Let me show y'all something. Let me show what they do, man. How they take laws that fit for them, but don't apply other laws. Like where you have a slave, right? And if he worked for you after 7 years, you let him go. But his children and the wife belong to you, to the master, right? And if he so be pleasing to stay with you, he gonna lose his freedom. In other words, he's owned by the man forever. What would make a man want to be pleased to stay with his master in the first place? First of all, within the laws of servant, you treat your servant the way you want to be treated. That's one. That's the golden rule. And two, because he loves his family and he don't want to leave his family behind. So that's an upstanding man that would rather lose himself to be with his family under the jurisdiction of another person. Because chances are when they go out, they ain't gonna be as good as they was in the master's house. Because us as a people, us as the upright people, we didn't do our servants no kind of way. We didn't do them the way the nations did us. Neither did Yasha come down from his home, his heavenly abode, and treat the disciples any kind of way. He washed their feet. Deuteronomy 15. Is that the law or the law of release? Absolutely. You just had us saying. All right. The Sabbath years of release. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth or unto his neighbor shall release it, which means forgive them of whatever this remaining due. Let it go. Today, I got something in the mail telling me I'm pre-approved, zero annual down, all this other stuff. I was like, oh, but I don't really want to make no ties with this. If it be your will, I'll do it. If it don't, I'm not. But you see where a lot of everything comes from the Most High's word. That's why after 7 years, your certain debt should be forgiven. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor, okay, I read that. All right, starting with he. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Most High's release. Of a foreigner thou mayest exchange it again, but that which is thine with thy brother, thine hand shall release. Okay. Save when there shall be no poor among you. For Ahiah shall greatly bless thee in the land which Ahiah thy Asher Ahiah giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. He said he don't need nobody poor amongst you. So that means if you're master, if you're lenders, and somebody amongst you is poor, you're gonna get in trouble. Because the Most High said, this is my release, and you have to release that. You can't hold that up. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Ahiah, that's the way he's going to give you inheritance to possess the land. If you hearken to the Most High, if the Most High say, give this up, you're going to be blessed. He's not going to cause you to give us something and you be poor. He just said there'll be none poor among you. Hello. So fear and disobedience will say, I ain't giving it up. I ain't doing this. Because they don't have faith. Remember, we're talking about the just shall live by faith, not by sight. And see, Esau don't understand that kind of stuff. Give me the food to eat now. Give me the... Jacob's like, it's not even done yet. Relax. You know that's against the Torah, right? We don't eat nothing that's raw. We don't eat anything of the blood. You know that, right? I don't care. What's the heritage? What's the blessing and all that stuff to me anyway? Just give me the daggone food. I'm starving about to die. My appetite is my God. I crave. Ooh, I got a taste for this. For Ahiah thy Ishyohim blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow, and thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. Most High said, y'all shall not. It is against the Most High's commandments that these nations are. Why? Because righteousness is not going forth. Another messing with my daggone thing now. Now they're with, there we go. Here we have it. The devil. Oh my gosh, the devil. He just never seen. Oh, Most High, through the power of your Son in his spirit, Yeshua, your holy set apart spirit, Father, your spirit. I ask that you be the stability of my connection, that this work can go forth uninterrupted. It shall be done unto us. So I thank you, O Most High, for hearing my prayer and supplication and being the stability of my connection in the midst of this wicked world, on this amongst this fallen people's creation. In the name of Yeshua, so be it. All praise to Ahiah. All praise to Ahiah. All praise to Ahiah. Victory unto you, Most High. Receive my sacrifice. He said, if there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of your gates in the land, which Ahiah thy Most High giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thine hand from thy brother. So you shall not harden your heart against your brother. You shall not withhold any good thing from your brethren. You shall not. But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend unto him sufficient for his need in that which he wanted. Beware that there be not a thought in any of your wicked hearts, saying, "Oh, this is the Most High's release. Oh, I'm only doing this because the Most High told me to," or "I don't even care about you like that." You know, you did step on my grapes that one time, and you was over here messing with my babe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be acting like he's saying. Don't let your heart be evil in the release. Most High's watching everything right now. His eyes is on the prowl. You hear me? He's not playing. Be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto the Most High against you, and it be sent unto thee. Don't let him come unto me crying out saying you're doing him wrong. You're doing it wrong. Because the provider of the creation will deal. This is why you don't get yourself hung up. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Most High shall bless thee in all thy works. So if you do right, he'll bless you. Just obey the Most High. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Ahijah shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand to do. For the poor shall never cease out of thy land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in the land. See that, family? Just example. Has Esau been a big brother example in how to rightfully give that which is owed to people? You know what's amazing to me? When I was watching the Harriet Tubman movie and the slaves begin, and our ancestors, I ain't calling them slaves, and our ancestors begin to flee from slavery, bondage. Our slaves left, our crops been withheld up, and we lost this, that, and the third. We've been hindered. Oh no, they wasn't going for not being reprimanded for what their losses was, but we supposed to sit here and not expect our stuff from our losses? Come on, Esau, that make you a hypocrite. That don't look good. Just let it go. Like your Frozen little movie you love. Like you make everybody listen to that nonsense. Let it go. Let it go. But we seen how they were acting then about our ancestors being free. They didn't want it to happen. Just like Pharaoh and them was like, you mean to tell me we got to do all this work? Oh no, what have we done? You set yourself up to do your own daggone work. That's what you did. How about you get out in that field and do it? You lazy selves. Verse 11 of Habakkuk 2. For the stone shall cry out of the wall. Okay, I read that. Verse 12. Okay, I read that. Okay, verse 13. Behold, it is not of the Most High of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. Notice it says, is it not of Lord? Let's read 13 again. Very slow. Pay attention. Look, is it not of Baal that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? But Habakkuk was basically saying, is it of the Most High that people should do all this work for vain things? Where does the Most High get his glory in? If you're not taking that vanity and doing it for the kingdom, where is he glorified? It's vanity. He doesn't want anything to do with that. He said, give unto me of earth. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Most High, as the waters cover the sea. So it's Baal's will that people shall work for vanity, because Baal is the deity of vanity. Not by faith. Don't you see how it's all making sense what Habakkuk's saying? Rather than what they try to feed you what he was saying? Habakkuk's complaining against the wickedness of these nations and how the people were righteous. I still have not seen how Judah was ruling the people wickedly. I'm not seeing that. When it say judgment don't go forth, that was where that's where Judah fell off at. Because if wickedness is going forth, Judah was supposed to be rebuking it. So you can get punished for not rebuking certain things. say to the wicked, you're going to be destroyed. You don't tell the wicked, his punishment shall be upon you. Not fearing the wicked. And he tell you, shut your mouth and be quiet and don't tell me something I want to hear. Give me an itchy ear speech. No, Most High is not into the business of itching ears. All through his work, he's always been saying, get right, rebuke, come back, rebuke, come back, right. There's nowhere he says, behold, he gives his promises with, if you obey me, if you obey me. Why people want his promises, and why are we hearing prophets, prophet liars saying things without asking people to do what the Most High asked them to do, which is already written. Check this out. Verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness. In other words, setting people up for failure. That could be poison. The majority of the time, it's liquor. It's strong drink. To cause a person's standards to be down, to cause a person's alertness and tendency to be down. That's how the enemy plays. Oh, let's celebrate. Oh, let's do that. Most High said be vigilant. Most High said be vigilant. You mean to tell me that's the devil? He comes to deceive. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And unfortunately, even Yasha had to deal with the devil to the very end. He said, one of y'all is a devil. Have I not chosen all of me? But one of y'all is a devil. All right, that's my alarm for prayer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, finish reading verse 15. I'm going to go on out of here. All right. And makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness. Okay, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame. Most High said, though you do this, you're going to be filled with shame. You're going to be embarrassed with your wicked self for glory. Filled with shame for glory. You'll do shameful things. A darn shame just for glory. Just to feel America. You are filled with shame, and all you other nations follow after her. You have been filled with shame for your vain glory. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, I'm instructed to continue. We can continue. Let's carry on. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. What profiteth the graven image? That the maker thereof have teacher of lies. To give you more understanding who the Chaldeans are. Now, what person came up with a graven image? Okay, let me show you an example of one. Okay, let me show you what this graven image is. All right. Your old trusty friend. Here we go. Here we go. Now I guess he got his hair, he got his haircut, y'all. They gave him updates for his haircut, but back then, you know, he had his long, wet and wavy with his Victoria's Secret gown on. Just stunting like you wanna. There we go. Look at this while I read, okay? What prophet the graven image? What prophet is this image, family? The molten image and the teacher of lies, and the doctrine he stands behind, the Christianity. What is the profit of it? What has been the profit for our people, though? Because if you look around, ain't nobody trodden down like our people. Okay. Teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein, to make dumb idols. Dumb idols. Okay. What's with his hands up like this about? What's that all about? Masonry symbolism or something? What's that all about? Look at this, family. Molten image, graven. Graven. For some reason, I can't find this character in the Bible, though. On the cross, he looks well put together. He looks like a man to me, but the scripture says he wasn't even noticeable as a man. That song kind of puts you in the mind of Habakkuk. Hear me, Father, when I cry. Where are you hiding from? You got to check that movie out. Verse 19. What wants him that saith to the wood, awake? Christianity tell him, he's arisen, he's risen. In other words, saying awake. But he was never even a thing. He's not real. To the dumb stone, arise. That's the Mecca. It shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. And let's see what that Mecca stone looks like. I think it's like a dark, dark stone. They got some gold and silver, he said. Decked up, looking pretty fancy, eh? Shining, blinging, stunting, ain't it? Looking like a whole vulva. Unclean. Unclean. But Ahiah is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. He's in his holy temple, which means he's not in that. He's not in this. He's not. So just shut up. In other words, that's what Habakkuk is saying. Just shut up. You're making noise for no reason. You're put on. What is the prophet like? Seriously. We're gonna deal the prayer Habakkuk, the prophet upon signal. O Ahiah, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Ahiah, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. O Ahiah came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was in the light, was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. This is why they think prophets are just poets. Though it's coming off the poetry, he's speaking deep in here. They think we just a poet. They think he's just speaking poetry. That's probably it was like, okay, he's just saying poetry. He's just singing a song. Just like Harry and Tubman and them in the field was singing escape plans and all kinds of jazz. And the big old dumb dummies didn't even get it. Right over their dumb heads. Okay. He stood. When it says 7 horns, it's like the menorah here. Let me show you something. Like Yasha's in the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you see the menorah, it's like in represents, and in the middle, like what's that? What was the Ezekiel where the oil goes in there and it just keeps lighting them up. So Yasha is the anointing to us. He gives us he lights us up. We are little lamps, like the parable of the virgins. But those who had no oil were foolish. Those that have oil, they had Yasha within them. So there wasn't no dry vessels out here in this building. They're not dry. They're not thirsty. He stood and measured the earth and beheld and drove asunder the nations. And the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. Whose ways? the ways of the Most High's word. His word is everlasting. Though heaven and earth be passed away, his word is everlasting. Who is his word? His son. The manifestation of him, his extension. No Trinity. No Trinity. That's why he said, behold, all glory and honor is given unto me. In this fashion, in that form. After all, we cried about saying we wanted a king we could look at. So Most High said, okay, I'm going to give you one. I'm going to prepare me everybody then. But you still ain't going to be happy. You still not going to believe. And all the prophets said that. All the prophets said it. They ain't said nothing new. They ain't changed up on nobody. What no new tone. No new tone, no beat. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction and the curtains of the land of Midian and trembled and did tremble. Was the Most High displeased against the rivers? Was thy anger against the river? Like he's like what is he mad about? Was a wrath against the sea? Yes. All right. I'm about to get off here now, beloved. And there's a sandwich in the fridge too. That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. Thy bow was made quite naked. Give my baby something to eat. Hold on. Ouch. All right, y'all. Let's summarize this. So majority of the rest of Habakkuk chapter 3 is of him speaking in poetry form, similar to, in other words, it's like the parables. It's let me hide from you, you nosy nations, because you're so daggone nosy. You're up in stuff that don't belong to you. And it's onto your own demise, your own destruction. So like when you come watching the channels of the people that you like, she's angry. Like, what's she always talking about? Like, God bless America. No. The Most High curse America, okay? Okay? Never in here did you see prophets, our prophets, the prophets, praying blessings upon the nations when they did his people wrong. You don't get, it don't work like that. And again, I tell you, we are in Isaiah 61, the acceptable year of the Most High. So that which is not acceptable is going to get dealt with. And the day of vengeance is upon approaching. So if you ain't acceptable unto him, you better be doing what you need to be doing to go before him and get acceptable. And stop playing around. Like don't be watching my channel, scoffing and catching your feelings. You an Edomite? You might as well just forget about it. I'm going to keep it a whole 1,144 with you. Forget about it. I can't find one that's righteous. I can't find not one. When your righteousness is filthy rags, well, guess what? He didn't reveal the word unto you. This is why you get off what you get off with, which means you have no cloak for your sin. So enjoy your privilege while you got it. Stop bothering me and enjoy your privilege. And carry on while the children be in us be edified. And like you want to join us in suffering, so I don't know why you're over here for. I don't know why you're complaining. Your ancestors backs wasn't beat in. Salt in the wounds. Your children didn't get raped. Your husband and family wasn't separated. Your babies wasn't snatched out of your wounds. Your can't begin to fathom the enduring our family had to go through. Let's skip to verse 16. Oh, no, 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 no. We're not skipping. So weird. Verse 10. The mountains saw thee and they trembled. Mountains talking about the great ruler ones. That's why David said, I look up to the hills for whence come my help. Hills in representation as our leaders are minor. Our prophets in the word is seen as hills to you. Oh, that's your help. Oh, you got the Bible or whatever. But that's where my help comes from. It comes from the word. That's why I say if you have faith as a mustard seed, you speak to this mountain and be removed. Mountains is representing the greatness of the glory of these kingdoms. Parable. Boom. There you go. For you little nosy dogs. The sun and the moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went. And at the shining of the glittering spear. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh. Thou didst march. Let's get the precept for that one. It said your arrows walked in the light. Remember when we did that that I can't remember what that video was, where the arrows are actually though like the prophets or those who go out to shoot his word out. Like it says that children are arrows in the hand of a mighty archer, which is a father. And if he doesn't teach them a properly way, the arrows shoot a miss. So if you don't teach your children right, you're shooting off blanks to the father. That's what he's saying. So yes, if you don't teach your children according to the way, they're spoiled. So walking in the light is walking according to the way. Like David said, that word is a lamp unto my feet and a light to my path. Right. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thrush the heathen in anger. The heathen, he's going to thrust y'all in anger. Ooh! Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked. Woundest the head. Now, is not Trump looking sick? He took all the things and said, don't let it get you. Well, what is it? Why didn't you name it COVID? Well, what is it, though, Trump? What? Everybody said you got caught the COVID, but you said don't let it get you. Who really was affecting you, though, Trump? Trying to tell your children, don't let it get you down. Thought you was slick. That's how I wounded your head. You're sick. You might put on, and I wouldn't put it past if it's more than one. I wouldn't put it past if it's more than one Trump. And the real one is real still sick somewhere. Ain't nobody come out. First of all, what are you supposed to be in quarantine by these 14 days? But you up here having these presidential debates and all this. It's not even entertaining. It's a doggone pitiful shame. America, you are a laughing stock, a joke. You look like a court jester in the world, on the earth. Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly. Thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses through the heap of great waters. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh unto me, the people, he will invade them with his troops. He ain't gonna invade y'all with his troops. He want to invade us. Though y'all invaded his people with his troops, he's gonna invade y'all with his troops, and he's coming with thousands and thousands of his saints. Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the field shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in all the stalls. Yet I will rejoice in the Most High. Boom. I don't need nothing in this world to make me want to praise you for. Okay, this didn't go through. That's fine. I'm going to still praise you. I'm going to still lift you up because you know what? You're great. Regardless. Yet I will rejoice in the higher. I will joy in the Most High of my salvation. The Most High is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, and he will make me to walk upon my high places, to the chief singer on the string instruments. Go ahead and sing that song, Habakkuk. Go ahead and praise him. That's all we got is a song and the times we in. When everything else is going wrong, we thank you, Father, that you give us a song. Great is the army, we gonna carry out his word. That's right. Army? Yes, beloved. That's one of my shirts. I'm about to get on off here now. All right, family, that's that for now. I'm still gonna be looking for that book. I'm not giving up. My father told me where it's at, which means it's within my reach. I can get it. He wouldn't put too much on me that I cannot bear. So be it. Until that time, family, happy preparation day. Hope y'all have a wonderful Sabbath rest. I love you all. Abba willing, see y'all tomorrow. Shalom. Unless Abba had me come back on here and share something else, y'all know I'll be right back. Unless Abba say come back, we'll be back. Love y'all. Shalom. Wait, I thought it ended. Oh, there we go.